Hello guys, how's it going? Happy Monday. Welcome to Fishy Hour. Let's go. Let's see. Looks like somebody jumped the gun real early on the first chat of the evening. Mr. Aaron, Big Water Yak Fishing Dude, welcome to the show. He jumped in like as soon as I posted it and said bit in the chat. Let's go. Guys, if you're new to the show, this is Fishy Hour. We talk about fishing and here in the local San Diego scene. Today we're going to have a special episode. We have a special guest, and I can't wait to start that. It's going to be an awesome interview we have set up. But before that, let's take care of some real quick business and let you guys know how the show is going to flow, since it is a little bit different from our normal format. Okay, so let's see. We're still going to do shout outs. So shout outs to Mr. Cal Cave Dog in the house. Thanks for showing up extra early today. Sea Samurai thought he was coming in hot. Thought he was going to get the first comment of the night, but he was already late by 2. Let's go, Kevin. Get it together. Awesome. What up, Ghost? Welcome. Carl Black. Easy in the house. Spotty at best. Ooh, we have a couple of new people in here. I see Spotty at best. I think I've seen you in before, but welcome back. Charlonda Cole, welcome back to the show. Welcome to the show. If it's your first time here, say first timer in all caps, and everybody will welcome you to the community. I see Oscar636. Mr. Hyder is back, driving back from Texas. Welcome, dude. Drive safe. I see Ghost. I see let's see Spinning Rod Rebel Marvin. What's up, Marvin? Welcome back. One-handed angler Darren. It's been a while, dude. Welcome back. I'm glad you're here. Arnie in the house. What up, Arnie? Welcome back. Let's see, Mr. Sound Fishing in the house. Let's go. Buto in the house with Submission Fishing Co. Check him out, guys. Eric the Judge Lehman in the house. What up, Eric? Welcome back, Captain Dan. Doug, Ruben in the house. El Sueño. One Cool Tuna. What up, Jeff? Welcome back to the show. All right, guys. Mr. Salty Dangler and Mr. Leonard, thanks for helping me mod today. Let's see. All right. Let's get this show kind of cracking. So before we jump into this interview, guys, let's set up some rules. Let's see. What do we have here? Shout outs are good. First a shout out. Shout out are good. And we do okay. You can ask questions, but we're gonna hold all your questions until the end of the interview, so that way we don't get interrupted in the flow. But we will address your questions. Just make sure you put question, colon, and then your questions, so it's easier for us to find them later on when we go back and ask for questions. Okay, so that's a good one. Let's see. Other than that, I think we're ready to introduce our guest, guys. Are you guys ready? Oop, let's go. Let me turn off this music here, and we can get that process started. Here we go. All right, here we go. So, guys, we've been talking about doing something as a club for a while, as a trip, something bigger than just going on a local fishing session here, and this is the place that we decided to go with, and I wanted just to I don't have a lot of experience with our guest today, and I thought it would be an awesome way for us to get to know each other, and for also you guys to be a fly on the wall and get to know him as well. So without further ado, let's welcome Mr. Jeff Mariani with a round of applause from the live studio audience. Let's go! What up, Jeff? Can you hear me?
What's up? You got me?
Yeah, I got you. Sounds good.
Sweet.
Guys, what do you think in the chat? Is Jeff coming through okay? Yeah, it sounds
check. Everyone can hear me. I hope.
I think it sounds good.
Awesome, man. Awesome.
Very cool. Oh, Katie's here. Katie with the subscription. What? Katie subscribed to the channel. Let's go. Nice. Very cool. So, Jeff, we have a tradition. We have a tradition here on Fishy Hour where it's called Pop Top. So what we do is our guest gets to go first, and I'll give a little speech. Don't open it yet, and then you can pop it when we say, ready, guys? Get ready to judge. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best Pop Top you ever heard in your life, 1 being the worst, rate this Pop Top.
Oh, that was
sounds a little low. Sounds a little low. Blame it on me. Sounds a little low. Very nice. Little 805 brewery. Very nice. Guys, I know I was supposed to start. Salud. I know I was supposed to start keto this week, but on a scale of 1 to 10, tell me the best Pop Top you ever heard, 1 being the worst. Rate this Pop Top.
Much better.
Eric still gave you a 10. Nice. Nice, Eric. Nice,
Thank
Eric.
you.
Salud. Cheers. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is a phrase you'll have to know in the future, very near future. Salud is like cheers. It's a toast. Literally means health. Well, with the assumption of good health. So today we have Jeff here, and the way I like to run my interviews or my show interviews, I like to run them in the style of my spearfishing podcast. So what we like to do is like to split them up into two halves. The first half, we're gonna get to know Jeff and figure out how he even got into fishing and what's this all about? Like why he's into it, right? What's a stoke, right? Why he even how he discovered it, right? So, and the second half of the episode, we're gonna talk a little bit about what I call in this instant we're calling it the salty angler section, which is basically you've gone through all the beginner trials and tribulations and you know how to fish, and now you're just going for like the fun adventures and going out there and trying to make the best of it, right? So
Yeah.
So for starters, Jeff, how'd you get into fishing?
Man, it really all started, I have to say, like when I was 5 years old at a place called Lake Isabella, which is Central California.
Yeah.
My grandparents took me there, rented that aluminum boat, got the little jug of red worms and, set up by the first bush and just filled the bucket with bluegill. I mean, that's how it all really started for me, And then shortly after that, they moved to El Centro. And so for 6 years they lived there. So I probably fished 1,000 miles of canal down there.
Wow.
Just for channel cats and stuff like that. Same thing, redworms, And then I took a little bit of a break from fishing as I was growing up, baseball and everything else. And then once I found the beach, I started living, the beach life and stuff.
Nice.
But then it all came back around again. A lot of my friends were fishing off their surfboard for calicos and stuff. And so kind of got back into it and then just all went crazy once I bought my first kayak, really, back in the late 80s.
Oh, interesting. Okay, very cool.
Yeah, opened the door. I got a Cobra Explorer.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And I bought it up in Malibu, and me and another buddy. And, it was just so much easier to move around, and you kind of stayed a little bit more dry, not really, but a little bit. And no, it was good times. You could fish the lakes or you could fish out in the ocean. So it was super fun. And then once I moved to San Diego and started fishing for tuna and things like that offshore, oh man, it was pretty much, that's all I want to do now,
Yeah, yeah. So in your beginner days, like, was that did you go right for the big species right off the bat, or were you fishing like bays and stuff?
Yeah, really in the very beginning, it was all basic and fishing with just bait worms, redworms
cool.
that my grandpa used to raise under the house. And then one day we were at Kmart, and I talked him into buying me an 1/8 ounce rooster tail, and to take to the lake the next day, and try something different. And that's when my first bass hit that, because you throw it out, and oh man, that was it. Like I didn't want to bait fish anymore. You know what I mean? Like it was all about jigs and just the thrill of it's something artificial and making a fish strike. I mean, it's just. Doesn't matter if it's a largemouth or what it is. It's such a thrill, for sure.
That's awesome. That's so good. So what year was it? What year was it when you got your first kayak?
1989.
Very cool. Okay.
Me and my buddy went up to a store in Malibu and just sat there all day until the guy made a deal with us because everyone wanted crazy money. And back then, I definitely didn't have money, for a kayak. But we left there with kayaks and paddles and that little weird seat that they gave us back then.
Yeah, like the backrest.
I'm so spoiled now with the Hobie, you know what I mean? Like it's hard to even talk about the Cobra Explorer, but that was the thing that got me out there, and it got me everywhere that I wanted to fish. Castaic Lagoon was a big spot I went to all the time.
Very nice.
Kayak, yeah, man, for bass and stuff. It's always fun to get out there on the yaks.
So what was your first experience in saltwater?
It was along the beach. Fishing from my surfboard, really, with my friends. Couldn't understand what they were doing, and went out there and I actually rigged a swim bait upside down. My first one I rigged like this.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And still caught calicos, and so but I didn't like how you had to deal with them as they came in on the surfboard and everything, So that's when I advanced to the kayak, and that was like. Freedom, you know what I mean, to travel and go kind of move around. So yeah, that was a good thing. And then after a while, I got a canoe in between all of that. I bought a canoe because I started fishing a lot at Cabrillo Beach right there in LA Harbor, just outside LA Harbor.
Yeah, I know what that is.
San Diego. That's where I grew up. So my dad and I fished out of the Coleman canoe that we got at Sport Mart, and listened to Let's Talk Hookup, and a little transistor radio, and just caught calico bass, for a couple hours in the morning. Like those are like my early and best, some of my good saltwater moments, fishing artificials and stuff.
Early memories. That's so fun. Oh, man, that's crazy. And then, do you remember like taking your like what the next big step, what the next big jump was for you, like either in gear or in species?
In gear, I switched from a kayak and I bought this big crazy 36-foot LCPL, like old, it was like a patrol boat that used to be on a destroyer.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I converted that into a sport fisher. I had a Detroit diesel in there and stuff. And
nice.
We limped over to Catalina and we caught lots of sea bass. We fished Horseshoe Kelp area right there and all the 7-minute wreck and all the things right there around the coast. And had a great time. You know what I mean? Like that was, I guess, probably a pretty big advancement. Yeah. Didn't work out. I thought I was going to become like a commercial sport fishing guy, and take people fishing. But man, hats off to all those dudes like that do that on the boat. Like I know that I do that, for sure on the island, but it's a lot different when you get to go sleep in a bed and, at a nice house, take a nice hot shower. You're off the boat. You know what I mean? Like it's just a way different experience. Like I couldn't hang. You know what I mean?
It's a hard profession. Yeah, for sure.
It definitely is a hard job. Yeah. That's a hard one.
That's crazy. Okay, very cool. So let's talk about let's see. I had my little list of questions here going out. Okay, so when you're first starting out, did you find yourself facing any issues, like any problems with like either acquiring knowledge or learning things? And if you did, how did you go about learning?
Just like with rigging my bait wrong, like my friends eventually, after seeing me flounder but still catch fish, like they started helping out. And once they started guiding me, I started seeing it was a lot like freshwater. Like if you're just throwing like a rooster tail or something like that, it's pretty much cast and retrieve. Except, getting hung up in the kelp and all that. Once I started figuring out, throw in the channels, throw where, start acting like a bait fish. Like that's really, I think, one of my buddies said that, like, dude, if you're a bait fish, like think like a bait fish and you'll catch more fish. And so
it's simple, but it makes sense.
Yeah. I really use it to this day. Like I try to, every cast I make, like I really try to, concentrate on what you're doing and think about like your lure presentation and stuff like that. And you'll be surprised how many more fish you get. I mean, it really does work,
That's perfect. That's exactly the perfect answer. Like, it's kind of stuff that like really, to you at this point, it might seem like it's just like a little story, but like for somebody that's getting into it, it's like that kind of stuff is gold, and that it's like super helpful to people that are listening. So very cool, very cool. Let's see. If you go back and give yourself a piece of advice as far as like learning to fish and getting better at it, what would you tell yourself if you go back in time?
Man, I want to know why I took a break for like 10 or 15 years. Stop. Like, man, I was having so much fun. I was going to the lakes. My grandparents moved to Yosemite for a while, and we were fishing lakes and stuff up there. And so I just was getting all these different experiences. And I mean, I guess I kind of know why. When you're like 16, 14, 15, 16, 17, like your head is definitely not on fishing pretty much.
That's true.
And other things. And hanging out at the beach, gets you on other thoughts too. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But I even, there's so much good fishing still going on even then. Like you still could have squeezed in a little. Like I kind of wonder, but like, now I think I'm, especially as of late, definitely making up for lost time. You know what I mean? Like, for some of the subjects we'll be talking about later, like, and I heard a few of the names on there that are listed, like they've been down there already. So, you know what I mean? It's going to be exciting to talk about.
Oh, very cool.
That whole,
some of those experiences.
Oh man. Yeah. It's been great down there.
Very cool. Very cool. All right, cool. So, I mean, that's pretty much a good understanding of how you got into fishing and the beginnings of your fishing journey. Let's go ahead and move on to the salty angler section, which is we're going for the going for the throat, I guess you could say, right? With like your best stories, your best experiences, maybe your scariest experiences. You know, it's whatever you want to talk about. So once you got your bearings and you understood the equipment, understood the species, what's been maybe one of your favorite fishing outings that you've been on? It doesn't have to be necessarily the biggest fish. It could be like something with close friends or something like that. Just like one of your favorite fishing experiences, I guess.
Yeah. One of my favorite, I think, experiences has definitely been going offshore for these big bluefin. That's not something that I normally do or even had the right gear or know how to do or anything like that. So, man, it's pretty amazing seeing those things eat that flying fish. Like anyone who's done it and got to witness it, like, wow, you know what I mean? Yeah. So like, that's been something that's been super memorable. I mean, I've got tons of great memories down on the island, of course, all kinds of fun things happening, but like, you know, hooking and landing like a 200-pound fish, like that is pretty darn amazing stuff. Yeah. And I know a lot of the people on here have done it, you know, in multiples in a day. And like, yeah, that stuff is got to be some exciting stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's definitely got to be one of the craziest experiences, especially like you said, like when you actually see the strike. It's like it's like a violent strike. It's like
unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's really unbelievable. You know, you got to go out there with the right person. I had a great guide every time I went. I either went with, of course, Sea Samurai, like he got me on all my first ones, and then my other buddy Chris Smith, who lives in Newport, put me on some fish too. Like if you go with the right person, like it didn't, like all you had to do is listen. You know what I mean? At that point, and pray you had the stamina.
No, exactly right. Or like try to hand it off. That's funny. That's funny. All right, so that's very cool. Let's talk a little bit about Cedros and how you got involved. How did you discover Cedros?
Okay, that's a great question, and I love telling this little bit. And I won't bring everyone down with the long tail, but basically my dad and I were going to go on the first string. Like we planned this 5-day. This is a boat that's up there, and it used to be in LA Harbor, but now it's down in San Diego. And so it's one of my dad's favorite boats back then. We were going to go on this boat. He started not feeling well. He'd been battling prostate cancer for about 16 years. And so at that point, things were started not going the right direction. And we ended up missing the trip we were going to Cedros, Guadalupe. That was going to be the trip. And so missed the trip because Pops got too sick. And then he ended up passing away in 2008. So then it was a few years later, I think about 4 years later, I was listening to Let's Talk Hookup because that was a show that him and I used to always listen to. Cool. It's just a show I still listen to this day. Yep. Love Pete Gray. I'm on there all the time. Nice. And, you know, just heard them come back from a fly-in trip. I wasn't very stoked about being on the boat for 5 days. My dad was a crazy boat guy. He could go out for a month at a time. Nice. Where for me, like I you know, I'm a day fisherman. I call myself. You know what I mean?
That's a good description.
Out of my bed. You know what I mean? Like that's just who I am. You know what I mean? But so when I heard you could fly to Cedros, I was like, oh, I gotta try it. So I booked right away with those guys, and that was a great experience because you know it was pretty much guided with them, and I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I'd never really been really past like Punta Colonet area or Cuatro area surfing with my buddies. So that's really how the Cedros thing really started for me. You know what I mean? And then once my feet hit the ground over there, oh man, I was screwed. Like really, like instantaneous. Like that is my spot, and I hope everyone gets to find their spot one day. But like, man, like that is my happiness over there for sure. 100%.
That is so awesome. And sorry for your loss, by the way.
It was a long time ago. Yeah. Like it was my best bud, definitely my best friend. And, but yeah, like he would be so stoked.
I think so too.
Oh my God.
He'd be so stoked. Yeah. Dude, that's awesome.
Fishing. I mean, that was his deal. Fishing Catalina on the Sport King was the boat he loved going on the 3/4 day down there.
Yeah.
And that was his thing, going to Catalina and fishing yellows.
Tell us about your first time at Cedros, like fishing.
So my
was
first,
it a boat or kayak?
This is pretty, yeah, this is on, did you say the kayak or
was it on, was your first time on a boat or a kayak?
It was on a Ponga.
Okay.
And I got down there about 2. They got us out on the boats about 3:15. By 3:40, we were done making bait. These giant mackerels, 1 pound mackerels, which I couldn't even believe that, they were so big. They were, as we were slow trolling them, it was hard to turn them around.
Oh, geez.
By 3:50, by 3:45, we were trolling baits because it was literally, a quarter mile from town where we were fishing, and just up the line there a little bit. And, by 3:50, I was bit, you know what I mean? Like, it was unbelievable. You know what I mean? Like, by the time we came in at 6 o'clock, I had 4. I went personal best, personal best, personal best, personal best. I was just like, they could have put me on the plane right then and sent me home, man. I was done. Like, it was unbelievable. So, like, that was my very first experience there. And then I still had Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday to fish. By Thursday noon, I couldn't even fish anymore. I was done. My hands were aching.
Wow.
Or like, yeah, that was my first trip. Was still to this day like such a memorable experience being there, just fishing every day. Like, I'd never gotten a chance to like fish multiple days in a row, but still come in, take a shower, do all your thing. And I knew like I needed to like stay, you know what I mean? Like, that was, I needed to figure out how I could stay. Like, that was my whole goal.
Yeah. Being able to come in and take a shower like that, it seems like not a big deal, but it seems like not a big deal now, but in the moment, it's a huge deal. It's nothing like coming back, getting clean and refreshed, and then go have dinner. And then, I mean,
it's giant, you know what I mean? And to be able to relax, redo your tackle, you're not all getting crazy on a boat or whatever. Like, I don't know, everyone's different. There's tons of people that love that stuff, but for me, like, I'm like a day guy. I love going out.
So good.
Greatest, you know what I mean?
Cool.
So.
Do you remember the first time you took the kayak? Oh, sorry. Those personal best, were those yellowtail?
Yeah, all yellows.
Cool.
All yellows.
Very nice. Do you remember the sizes that were like the weights?
They were all like in the 34 to 30 pound class. Like, so that's all giants.
That's a hard fish to fight. I mean, it's not as hard as a tuna, of course, but those things can fight.
It was truly unbelievable. Yeah. What goes on down there some days, you know what I mean? Like, if you get yourself in the right area and you got the right bait and everything, it's an incredible fishery.
What was your first experience fishing Cedros on a kayak?
Man,
had it been done before, or?
There was guys over there, but nobody has Hobies. Like, that's the difference.
Yeah.
People have kayaks, but they don't have a Hobie. Like, if you have a Hobie, then you can really experience kayaking and kayak fishing too. You know what I mean? Because that's, trying to paddle your way to somewhere, then set your paddle down, make a cast, and do all your thing, and then the wind's already got you twisted before your lure even hits the water. Like, you know what I mean? Like, once you're using your feet and the rudder and getting yourself in position, like, and your fish count goes up, 400, 500%, like, then you'll understand like the difference in why, they may cost a little more, 100% worth it, So my first experience was with Jim Salazar, actually. He came down back in like early 2016 and helped me set up all the kayaks.
Oh, cool.
And then we fished every day and we caught halibut. And sometimes 25 per guy per day, all on plastics, all right outside of town. We launched just from the beach right there in town. Yeah, it was fantastic. Fantastic. We got great photos. Like, I didn't know what was about to happen. I mean, we were fishing just right there by town. It was March.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was early. It was in between the Fred Hall shows. And now that's like one of my favorite times to try to go down and do some halibut fishing. Early season halibut fishing down there is really, really good. March and April. I know trying to put together some trips to get people on that stuff, because it's super fun. I can't even imagine if we, like put baits on dropper loop down at the bottom. I'm white plastics, and rainbow trout is another fun color that I love to throw.
Okay.
Down there, but that was our first experience, and it was just like great calico fishing and great halibut fishing.
That's exciting. Yeah, it's like it seems like it's just like a, what up, Liam? Welcome to the show. It sounds like it's just like it's like everything you dream of when it comes to like SoCal fishing, I guess you could say, or like West Coast fishing.
If anywhere, species. Like, this is what I like to tell people. Like, if you like fishing Catalina or Clemente or San Diego and Coronado Islands, all that stuff, anywhere in the Southern California coast, all that stuff is right there waiting for you just to do your thing. You know what I mean?
That's very cool.
It is but like there's no one really fishing it. Especially if you come fishing with us, like I'm moving around every single day. You know, I don't want to fish the same spot. Like I want to go on a new like adventure or a new experience and go check out another part of the island. Definitely show you guys a better part of the island. Like, oh, that's what definitely like we're all about. Maybe going to Bonitos or something like that. You know, just the fishery is completely 100%. I haven't found lingcod yet, but I've found everything else.
Wow,
so,
that's awesome.
Pick a species and they're there, like from blue perch all the way up to like, you know, yellowfin tuna. There's been wahoo out there, everything.
Oh, that would be amazing. Have you caught a wahoo?
We have over at Bonitos. We've caught several.
That's so fun.
Needs warmer water. Like everyone would love to go there and get it, but like seriously, you got to watch the water temperatures for the year. If the water starts getting in the high 70s, then the fish will migrate up. You know, but typically they're going to stay like 100 miles south of us. Or further. You know what I mean? Because the water's just a little bit warmer. You know.
That's so good. Wow. I'm kind of trying to take it all in at the same time and trying to do the interview, but this is pretty amazing. I'm excited.
I mean, it is an awesome fishery. There's so much going on. You like Dorado fishing? Cool. Come down July, August, September, October, November. Like there's Dorado everywhere. I mean, I'm talking everywhere. You know what I mean? If that's your thing, like at the same time, you're going to catch calico bass, yellowtail. You want to catch sheephead? We'll catch sheephead. You want to try for black sea bass? I mean,
that'd be crazy.
Just keeps going.
Yeah. You know what I mean? That's so good. So guys, just so you guys know, I know we talked about this in the past, and we are going to be running some charters here with Jeff, and we got our dates. I've reached out to some of you guys already, and so some of these trips are already partially booked. Just so you don't, in case you need to leave early, just so you know, at the end of the show, we're going to jump into the Discord comms, and I'll let you guys know what spots are still open. If you're interested, I'll give you all the pricing details, and we can actually start assigning spots if you guys are ready to go on this trip. What we're going to do is we're going to go on in June and September. We have 2 back-to-back trips set up, and we're going to continue the interview after this, but just stick around. I want to give you guys a little bit of what we're planning here. It'll be a Mad Max Fishing Club charter, I guess you could say. And besides all this great stuff that Jeff is telling us about, and having access to this great fishery, and let's talk a little bit about the experience of somebody going on a trip like this for the first time. I'm gonna drive myself to CBX. I'm gonna go over the land bridge to TJ Airport, and you can take it from there.
So yeah, you're not doing any of that. Like okay. You're already too far ahead. Yeah.
But take it back. Reel it back.
Yeah. So here's what you're going to do. First thing you're going to do is go park over by Fastlane Kayaks.
Oh, like wow. There we go.
Free parking for everybody. We park right over there. Katie's there, and she gets us all dialed in. She'll take care of everything. We put a little sticker in your window so everybody knows, and you're super safe, free parking. Then we shuttle you over to the CBX, because if you park over there, it's $20 a day. We don't doing that. You know what I mean? Like that's why we have it already set up. Safe, free parking at Fastlane. We take you over to CBX. We get all our stuff on carts, and then from that point, Katie will walk you right to the guards, and then she'll get everybody across. And then from there, you take a walk, and it's probably a quarter mile. I like to tell people, you know, as you zigzag along the bridge, you go down the escalator or whatever, go to the guard, you have your little FMM card there that we take care of for you. Everything's done. Katie makes sure all your paperwork's in line before you even go anywhere.
Perfect.
And so everything's done. Your fishing license, all that stuff, it's in one packet. We have it all taken care of. And so then once you're across that guard and you go get your bag scanned, and you just go right outside, and then there's our pilot waiting for you. And then he walks you over to where the private charter planes are. You go outside, and then you take a little short walk. You don't have to mess with your bags or anything at that point. Once you go right outside right there, these other concierges come up with their dollies. They take your bags and everything. I just tell everyone, carry your rods, of course. Like, don't let anyone else take care of your rods. Take care of your own rods, because we can. And then they just take us over to the other building where the pilot just takes us straight out to the plane. We load our own stuff, and then you just get right on the plane from there. Like, you're completely with.
Even that's an experience right there. You know, it's like I've never done that. It's just amazing.
It's unbelievable. Yeah. It's absolutely unbelievable what everyone's going to experience. You're going to get on our King Air, and then you're going to be to the island in like an hour and 10 minutes. It's just direct flight, an hour and 10 minutes, and you land, right? So we're crossing that bridge at 7 a.m., right? So by 8, we're taking off.
Wow.
If it's an hour and 10 minutes, by 9:10, 9:15, you're on the island. You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
So my guys are there. We pick you up real quick. We hustle you to the house. Get your rooms assigned real quick. Get you in the garage because we got this giant garage, and we set up all these folding tables so you can spread out your gear because you're there on vacation.
Yeah. Yep.
Get you all set up, and then you just get your gear ready because my boats are just waiting. You know what I mean? They're sitting right there in the driveway. You get your tackle ready. You get assigned to a boat. It's 3 guys per boat. We get on the pongas, and we hustle you straight to the water. We're launching by 10:15. You know what I mean?
Awesome.
Like you're on the water, and then we can fish till 5 right in that area. You know, but
let's pause. Let's pause there and take a few of these questions because these questions are relevant to this part of the phase.
Perfect.
So, best way to pack your rods.
So what I tell everyone is there's no rod tubes allowed, but these
cool.
nylon or Velcro, or not Velcro, but these neoprene ones. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Just put them individually in one of these, and then just use a bungee cord or some tape them together.
Perfect.
Bundles of 4, so that they're not too thick of a bundle, so we can get it in the plane door. If you're bringing long rods, 9 or 10 foot rods, leave those separate from your bundle because that way it's easier to manipulate that one rod to get it in there.
Yeah.
We put all of our stuff in the plane, but I'm just trying to keep it as simple as possible, and we don't want to mess up the King Air, man. This thing's beautiful, like riding in a Mercedes. Like you're not gonna believe it, man.
I saw some of the. Is that the one on your website? The photos? Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, if you guys want to check that out, guys, it's let's see. Let me bring it up real quick. I set up a special screen for us to look at it. Look at this.
Either the Turbo Commander or the King Air you're looking at, like they're both beautiful and they both get us there in an hour and 10 minutes. It's unbelievable. It's luxury.
That's awesome. All right, here we go. Let's see. I'm scrolling down I'm on your website. I'm scrolling down and let's see. Accommodations. And you know what? These rooms look amazing.
It's all single room occupancy. We all love our friends, but at night we can all use a break. Get our own sleep.
That's so good.
Darren, one-handed angler, like, you know what I mean? Like, I love you, bro, but like, go to bed, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and it's nice because we all need our rest because the next day we're fishing hard again, 10, 11 hours. You know what I mean? Like, we're on the water, so you gotta have your rest at the same time as having fun. Like we have fun at night too. You know what I mean? So, but we don't really stay up too late because we're.
It's gonna be a hard day the next day.
The next day, yeah, we're getting down to business wise. You know what I mean?
So that's day 1. Where we show up, get on the pongas, three per ponga, go out, get some fishing done, and then you come back in around 5:30. You said? Yeah,
come back to the house, and then So how we do everything is you get in the boat and out of the boat in my driveway, like literally. Awesome. My driveway, yeah. Like, so we load you up 3 there. We trailer down. It's 1 minute drive down to the launch ramp. It's at the end of Main Street. It's a very quick, easy drive right down the street. Dump you in the water. I hustle back at the next boat. That first day, we're just fishing. We probably usually go down to the south end of the island to all the high spots out there. There's a lot of good fishing out there. It's quick, easy. A lot of times we can get you on yellows right away. There's a chance for black sea bass out there, good calico fishing, stuff like that. So it's always a fun first day. That way it's quick, easy. Then the next day we're going on an adventure. Everywhere you go on this island, like all my best spots, takes me an hour to get there. Okay. Like seriously, the island's giant, 21 miles long, 11 miles wide at its widest point, which is the south end. And all the spots I like to go to are about an hour from town, like to really and so, we pick a zone we're going to go to based on the weather every day. And that's the area we just go there and stay up in that zone all day. I mean, you got 20 miles back to town, so you're going to find something.
So good.
But wherever we pick, like, there's usually, almost every single time, no boats and fantastic fishing, which is what we love.
That's amazing. Oh, hang on a second. We got a $10 super chat from Mr. C Samurai. What up, Kevin Nakata in the house? He says, let's go. Phil Roman's trip. Dave's on guide duty. All right, so one of the things we forgot to mention, guys, and I was kind of holding it back a little bit. So one of the coolest parts of the MMFC charter that we're doing here with Cedros is that Kevin is going to be on deck to be our guide, right? So he's going to be available for all 4 of our trips. It's going to be amazing the way I have these structured. And again, this was Kevin's idea, and I think it's a great idea. We have a 5-day and a 4-day back-to-back so that when the people leaving from the 5-day get to the airplane, they'll see the people arriving for the 4 days. So we'll be able to see each other in transition for real quick, and say what's up and get stoked and share a little bit of that stoke before they take off. So it's kind of nice. We're doing two back-to-backs like that, one in June and one in September. Let's keep talking about gear. So what kind of gear should we bring? Because these are big fish that we're used to fishing. We're mostly fishing calicos and spotted bay bass here on the kayaks.
Yeah, so down there, like I'm fishing bait casters, honestly, for everything, even pulling on big yellows. Like if you're a Shimano fan, or like I'm a big Okuma fan, whatever your brand is, Lexa, Lexa 400s, Lexa 300s, the Shimano Tranks, 300, 400, the 500's great for throwing surface iron. That's kind of the gear I'm using, like heavier bass rods for sure for your bass gear. And then for throwing surface iron, whatever your favorite setup is,
perfect.
Pretty much 40 to 60 pound, like kind of for everything we're doing. Like I think is pretty much what's going on. All of my reels are filled with Spectra, 65 pound or 80 pound. And I'm fishing 60 pound for calicos even because there's so many yellowtail bites while you're fishing calicos. I mean, that's one thing, your bass gear, all your gear that you bring down, make sure everything's good. Spend the money and fill your reels correctly. No splices, nothing crazy. You know what I mean? Like you will lose fish. I'm telling you, you know what I mean? Like these things it's different, especially on the kayaks. Like you got to be ready. You got to be super mobile, and you don't want to be thinking about your gear at all. You want, my guys will take really good care of your gear down there. We rinse everything off every single day, wipe it down, put it back on the rack. We have a big rack in the garage that we keep everyone's stuff on. Always accessible, tons of stuff for you. You can rig and everything else, but super, super important to bring down, all of your top gear. Check all your rods, make sure your guides are good and all that kind of stuff. If you want to fish live bait, I have sabiki rods down there. You don't need to bring any of that kind of stuff. You can bring some sabikis. It always help to help a couple sabikis around. And then bring your favorite live bait rod. You know what I mean? Your 40-pound stick probably is what you're going to be doing with the 5/0 hook. And if you want to fish deeper, something different, to fish a little heavier.
Perfect. Yeah, this is a good idea of what to bring. That's perfect. Oh man, that's so exciting. All right.
Yeah. People, I must say that I think most people overthink it, you know what I mean? And honestly, you can get it done with 4 rods. Like you really can. 2 bass rods and 2 like yellowtail rods, like a surface iron rod and maybe a jig stick or something like, or a surface iron or live bait rod is what I was trying to say. Something like that. You'll be more than set up. And on top of that, if you need something, we have tons of rods down there. You know what I mean? I've got really nice Okuma rods. That's all I fished all year. Caught all those big yellows. Everything I caught was on those rods this year. You know what I mean? It was great.
Is that an option for the guys going out? Or is that like a
100%? Yeah, if they want to just bring reels and come down and use rods that I got down there, it saves a little bit of space on the plane. But now with this new plane that we're going to be flying, this 350, there's space for everything. So I just tell people, bring your stuff, bring your clothes too. Like if you're coming on a 5-day trip, like just bring your stuff. We'll wash clothes probably one day, but water has been, it's a big resource on the island. It's really scarce. So I've just been telling people, for 2022, like just bring all your stuff. I mean, there's no weight issues. Like there's a cart. Once we get out of the car at the CBX, there's a cart. So you're setting your bag on the cart and we're wheeling it all the way until we get to the concierge guy who puts it on his dolly. So like, we really don't have to lug our bags around at all. You know what I mean? So bring your stuff.
You know what I mean? Like, that's perfect.
Don't bring like 100 pounds of gear. You know
don't bring your 3 Gucci suitcases.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, pack your stuff. Listen to all the recommendations that we'll put out. Like Katie sends out emails and text messages and everything all the time. Kevin's going to be a huge part of our program overall, not only with your trips this year, but throughout. So he's going to be giving everybody like really good tackle tips on, so you can really narrow in your gear and bring the right stuff down.
Right.
Obviously whenever you come down in June, we're already going to be fishing since May. So we're probably going to be on some pretty good bites. So we're going to have a good idea what's going on and what to have you guys bring down.
Perfect.
Same goes for your later trip. By September, super dialed in. I'll tell you that. We will be super dialed in. If we say bring 100-gram, flat fall style jigs or something like that, like you better bring them, or SP minnows or the Macks stick. Like if everyone doesn't bring one of down, especially in green, the 170 or 210, like you're missing the boat right out of the gate. You're missing the boat. You know what I mean? They bite this thing, they rip it off my line. Like they love these things down there. This one and the blue one, like it is like
perfect.
Not a very expensive jig, and it's something great to bring down. Okay, you're a surface iron guy, you got to bring one. They swim just as good, and you can crank faster. Like everything that you love to do with those kind of things. Like it's amazing the bites you get. Giant calicos eat that thing. Like it's amazing. You know, I got endless stuff. But like I said, we'll be giving you good tackle tips always on what to bring and really help narrow down so you don't have to bring a ton of stuff.
Perfect. And then another question that came up, okay, I don't know if it came up, but I'm going to ask it because I know it will come up, is can we bring fish back?
Oh, 100%. Like everyone needs to bring fish back in. I don't know if any other place, especially in Mexico, sends their guests back with fresh fish. But if you come fishing with Cedros Kayak Fishing, Cedros Island Fishing Charters, like you're going home with fresh fillets.
Nice.
Like you don't freeze anything. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, no, like the first couple of days of your trip, like that's probably an indication that we're gonna. If you're catching already on those days, we're probably catching like on your 5-day. You come down Monday, you whack the yellows.
Yeah.
Like by Friday when you go home, that fish is I would need to freeze it. So we're very generous in town. We love giving to the Marines, to the police in town, like all the families in town that need fish. Like we love sharing those, especially the fish on the first few days.
Yeah, perfect.
The days is when we're vacuum sealing everything, packing it in like 1 to 2 pound bags. We ask you what you want. You know what I mean? We could put it in that range. We keep it all in the refrigerator.
That's cool.
And then we use soft cooler bags and package everything in the soft cooler bags, and then just stick it right on the plane. And then when you get back to San Diego, you just put it in your coolers, and Dana Landing's right there. You go buy a nice bag of ice so you can get home and sashimi, you're eating whatever, because the fish processing starts right after you catch it, actually. You know what I mean? Like we take good care of your fish. We're bleeding it right away. We're putting it down in our game bag that's has ice in it and stuff like that. So
that's nice.
Really good, yeah.
So the panga cruises by, picks up your fish.
The panga. When you're fishing on the kayaks, the pangas are always there. We do all of our fishing basically from the panga. Like we put the kayaks in the panga and then take those. I mean, we've been to Bonitos on the kayak.
That's awesome.
We can literally go anywhere. The only limitation is weather. Like I don't limit anything past that. Like I hate fishing with the other boats, so I kind of complain if guys want to go fish by the other boats. Other than that, only the weather stops me from going anywhere. I love going anywhere. Chester's. Over to Bonitos, Natividad. I mean, I fished it a few times. Like it's got its moments, but I would rather do like Punta Norte, go way around the backside. There's great areas. I mean,
that's awesome.
Huge, man. I mean, it's gigantic, which you're gonna see, 4 times.
Very cool. Let's do a little quick shout out to Ghost in the house. What up, Jomar? Thank you for the 1999 super chat. Cedros, let's go. Nice. Jomar, are you going? If you guys are interested in going on the trip with us, it's gonna be I'll be putting it out soon on the Discord. But right after this show, I'm gonna jump into the Discord comms, and we're gonna talk about open spots. And if you want a spot, this is where you're gonna get the priority that you need for watching, because you're watching the show, because you're in MMFC. This is where you're gonna jump in and try to snag a spot. So that'll be immediately following the show. I'm gonna jump into Discord again. And if you don't know what the Discord is, type in !Discord in the chat, and you'll get a link that'll be an invitation to join our Discord server. And there you'll see all the shenanigans we've been up to as MMFC. It's fun. It's a fun group of guys. All that I ask is that you keep it respectful and act like a grown up. That's pretty much it.
Come to my house too.
Right? Very cool. All right, so that was day 1. We get off the boats. We come back to the house. What do we expect?
You should expect pizza night in the wood-fired pizza oven.
Oh, what?
It's Caesar salad with homemade Caesar salad dressing that Katie makes.
Very nice.
That's right out of the gate. We usually overmake the pizzas so that I have extra for the morning, because pizza in the morning is fantastic the next day fishing. You know what I mean?
That's true.
I always try to make an extra 1 or 2, but that's kind of our first night. It's pizza night usually at the pad. And then, we usually are down by, 9 or so. Everyone's kind of laying down because we wake up at 5.
Yeah.
Is the normal routine for the next following morning. Wake up at 5. Coffee's already going. The ladies show up. They start making us breakfast. It's usually like sausage or bacon McMuffins, with a nice English muffin. They'll make fresh scrambled egg and you can either eat it right then and there, or they'll package it to go. So that and they're making our lunches for the day. We don't like pre-make the sandwiches or anything like that. Like everything for our lunch is all made out on the boat. A lot of times we're having chicken Caesar salad on the boat. We try to mix it up from the sandwiches, but everything is prepared out on the boat. So we're eating nice fresh sandwiches. Or if you're on the kayak, they make that sandwich on the boat, and then they'll come over to you in the kayak and hand it off to you, and then come back and pick up your sandwich basket and stuff like that we serve everything in. So
perfect. I got a question for you. It's a kind of a random one, but we have a couple of guys that are like doing keto, right? So they only eat meat and they can't do bread. Is there like you could do like a lettuce wrap or something, or is that something you kind of like tough?
Oh no, we could take care of anything. Just I need to know like not the day that we show up and we're trying to serve you dinner.
Yes.
Like
okay.
in advance.
Yeah, perfect. I'll make a note of that in the reservation, Mucho. Thanks.
Yeah, like to everyone out there, like but all those kind of things are helpful. If you're allergic to anything, like I'm allergic to shellfish, very important. Like I don't want to die on anyone, so like I can't eat that kind of stuff. Same for some people. If it's peanuts, or like people are allergic to all different kinds of things. Some people are gluten, things like that. Like I serve a lot of like.
I'll include that in the reservation. That's perfect. And Cal coming through with another 1999 says dibs. Let's go. Nice, Cal. Let's go. Cal's going, by the way, guys. He's coming. He's already booked. Let's go.
You're gonna have a great time. Our house is super comfortable. It's hard to kind of explain to everyone, but basically you're going to a completely Americanized house. I built a compound. It's like 80 by 80, basically. Wow. I built a wall around this whole place. Yeah. Built a giant garage so we can all hang out. We all love to hang out in the garage and tackle tinker, so I built this great place for that.
That's cool.
Got a oven outside, a whole outdoor kitchen, a big fireplace for us to chill. Like it's super, super nice. The water, I put a whole house filtration system, so every spigot.
Oh wow, that's cool.
We rinse off our rods, like everything. You could brush your teeth anywhere in that house, so you don't have to worry about the water. It's all flush your paper, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Style in the restrooms, all that kind of stuff. Like very, very, very comfortable. Every room has an AC in it. You know what I mean? Like they're all pillow top mattresses. Like you're coming to our personal house and you're all family now. You know what I mean? And like, I don't know how else to treat people. Like you're all my brothers. Come on down, man.
That's awesome. Wow. That's amazing. I can't wait.
So much fun. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Cool. All right. So, I mean, if you guys at this point, you can start asking questions in the chat. You can put question, : and then your question for Jeff, and I'll ask him, and then we'll see what he says. And then meanwhile, go ahead and start queuing up those questions, and we're going to ask Jeff about his world record broomtail grouper.
Ooh!
What year was that? And take us from the beginning. That morning, what happened?
Oh man, like can't get the better scenario of my life for this thing, right? So it all starts. It's the Hobie trip, like the Hobie guys, Morgan, Kevin, Mike Ponce. I can't remember this other guy that was there. Vince, some guy named Vince was there, right? Like all these crazy heavy hitters are down there, right? The whole drive down, they're talking to me. Dude, where do we get grouper? Like, I don't even know. You know what I mean? Like, I never even caught one, right?
What?
I don't even know. Kevin's got this crazy rod, 200-pound line, like all this stuff, and I'm like, dude, I seriously I have no idea. I'll be honest, So we get down to the island, launched the kayaks that first afternoon, like 3 o'clock, just right there at the beach, and we're fishing the breakwall and stuff like that. Morgan, first cast, 19-pound broomtail grouper off the rocks. Like I'm like, hey Kev, they live right here. You know what I mean? Like I had no idea. Wow. So it was funny. And so the next day is when I caught the big one. We were fishing over by the salt factory. Nothing was really going on. It was kind of slow, so we were kind of paddling back and forth in the kayaks all the way out to the far south point and fishing out there, and then coming back in, and then all of a sudden Vince in our group hooked a big yellow on a bucktail jig and 20-pound line. So and so we all followed him all the way out. That thing drug him all the way out to the point. It turned out to be a 40-pounder. It was huge, right? Big, giant yellow, right? Giant yellow. So we get a bunch of pics and everything like that. And I decided I wanted to go back by the salt factory. That's where I thought my best chance at getting the yellowtail that day was. So I paddle back to the salt factory and get set up, and I'm casting my surface iron with basically my bass rod setup. And I kind of have this technique where I let the thing kind of float out, 20, 30 seconds, and then I crank for, 10 cranks and then put it back in free spool, let it so okay. I had about a half a spool out when I got bit. My jig was probably in 60 feet of water coming across the reef down there, right in front of the salt factory. And I got bit. And for the longest time, I didn't know what I had. It kind of felt like a yellow, and then it kind of felt like I had a lobster trap or seaweed.
Oh, wow.
It was weird. It would like come in and then kind of just drive away from you. And you know how like when you hook a line underwater, kind of feels like that. And
that's
then
the current?
after a little bit, I felt it like rubbing its head on the bottom. And after about 25 minutes, it started coming up and got it near the side of the kayak. And stuck the gaff in it, and luckily the thing didn't move. Like it was probably going to die anyway.
It's like exhausted.
Because there was no one around me at that point. Like everyone was about a mile away.
Wow.
And so I got on the radio because we put VHF radios in all the kayaks, and then you can communicate with the ponga. So I called the ponga over, and he came over and just, like his eyes were out of his head. It was pretty funny. So the fish was in the boat, and then one by one the guys started pedaling over, and they were looking at the fish.
Those reactions.
Oh, it was unbelievable. Everyone was crazy. And then a couple hours later, Kevin
probably lost his mind.
And so a couple hours later, Kevin goes, "Hey, that might be, we're sitting around at lunch." He's like, "That might be like a record." And I knew nothing, So we called my friend Chris, who lives in Newport, and he got on his computer real quick and looked up the Broomtail Grouper record and said it was at 100 pounds. And we all said, "Oh, that fish is over 100." You know what I mean? So, so we went through the whole process. Kevin called someone that he knows over at IGFA, and they told us what to do, because I didn't want to waste the fish. I didn't want to freeze it or do anything crazy. Like, here's this big, beautiful thing that died on me. Like, okay. And so we went through the whole process, videoed the whole thing, weighed it. I ended up buying the scale off the store that we used, and I brought it back to La Mesa in San Diego, and awesome. They certified it because they're connected to the IGFA.
Oh, perfect.
Then we submitted all the paperwork, and I sent in the jig and the line and all that. And man, they gave me 2 records. They gave me all tackle, and they gave me 80-pound line class.
Wow.
So it's a 2-time record with that big crazy fish. Like,
did you get 2? Awesome. Did you get 2 plaques or 2 certificates?
Gave me 2 certificates.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, nice. Super cool. Great experience. Not sure why I was blessed with that big old fish, but I know there's some greatness coming because of that fish and everything that's going on the island. So yeah, super stoked to have that thing and have the records for sure.
That's such a cool experience, man. That's like.
It was amazing, man. On the kayak.
Yeah.
On the angler, like it was unbelievable. My bass rod, it was the Phoenix rod rated 15 to 35. I was the Okuma 400, and I had 65-pound Power Pro to 35-pound leader.
Wow.
I got that thing. You know what I mean? So like the kayak, I think if I was on a boat, I never would have got it. Like the kayak, you become a big buoy.
Yeah.
And you just getting drug around. So if you could just breathe, what I tell everybody, breathe, relax. So you can think, so your mind works right, you're breathing, and just wait it out. You know what I mean? Like you'll get them if you wait it out most times. You know what I mean? And it was unbelievable when that thing came up. I was scared to death. Like actually, when it came alongside my kayak, I didn't know what to do.
You're like, oh, is it gonna come back to life?
The first time I hit it with the gaff, like nothing happened. Like it didn't even go in. I'm like, oh man, you gotta swing if you're gonna stick in something crazy like that, And I finally had to stick it, and then it didn't move. Thank God, it probably would just pull me right.
Crazy.
It would have been crazy. I would have let go, man. I'm too much of a sissy.
When you're fighting fish like this, even like a nice yellowtail on kayak, I mean, you want to have the rod towards the front, towards the bow. That way, it's not gonna give you leverage to flip you.
Yeah, 100%. Like there's definitely techniques to fighting bigger fish on the kayaks, and we know all the greatest techniques, and we tell everybody like the same thing. Like you got to keep your rod in front of you. You know what I mean? Like if you get that thing off to the side or anything like that, like. You're gonna be in trouble, and it happens pretty quick. You know what I mean? So, the kayaks we have forward and reverse, so you can do whatever you need to do. But like, yeah, you got to pay attention and you want to keep your rod in front of you, and it's totally doable. I mean, we get ridiculous fish out of the kayaks. You know what I mean?
That's
You're more
so good.
stealth. You're quieter. You know what I mean? Like we put fish finders on them all. So like there's that little click from that, but those fish are like, they're listening for motors and stuff. And like, oh man, like it's a crazy, the episodes we have on the kayaks. It really is.
That's so good.
Fun. We mix and match. Like, you know, people like to kayak and then maybe you get tired, like a 3-day trip, you know, you're trying to kayak all those days. Like maybe you want a pong a day. So like usually the first day we pong a fish. And then if we're kayaking, like we'll do it for a day and, you know, maybe 2 days, whatever you guys want, you know what I mean? But we'd always give everyone the option. Each night at dinner, we talk about what we want to do the next day.
That's cool. That's kind of like
you know, everyone doesn't think like, oh man, I'm just coming down only to kayak. No, like you're not. Like you're coming down to go fishing, like however you want. Like really, you know, like we'll make it happen. So
very cool, Jeff. I'm gonna share real quick your Instagram page on the screen. That way people can see some of the things we're talking about.
Yeah, for sure.
Guys, here's a Cedros Island Fishing. So that's at Cedros Island Fishing on Instagram. And here's the jets. Are these the new jets?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're nice. Yeah.
Unbelievable. It's truly unbelievable. I was just down there. The fishing is ridiculous. Right now it's January. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I got sea bass, black sea bass, calicos. Like it was endless. We were, you know, I tell everybody, like you can bring all your stuff, but if we tell you like something specific, like bring the hookup bait, like you should bring the hookup bait. Like I was down there fishing. I had a whole bunch of those baits. We were fishing the hookup baits and we were whacking them. You know what I mean? So like, just if we make recommendations on what to bring, definitely bring that stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
and then Jeff, there's a picture on your Instagram. It looks like a giant like a giant spotted bay bass, but you call it a golden spotted bay bass. Is that
like
different than what we have here?
Yeah, golden spotted bass or pinto bass. Some people know them as pinto bass.
It's a different species than what we have here, like a spotted bay bass in the bay, right?
Yeah. We have spotted bay bass down there also.
Because we're spotted bay bass enthusiasts, man. We love catching spotties, and we're always looking for fat ones, like big ones. Do you guys have nice? I mean, we probably won't be targeting them, but like, you know, if like for example, Brian might want to go on and just like seek them out because he wants to get like a giant one.
Yeah, I would probably just send them out to some of my high spots that are like out in 100 feet of water or deeper. Like, believe it or not, that's where I get most of my spotties. It's incredible. Yeah, way deep. There's spots. I mean, maybe around the harbor too. There's probably some bigger ones. I never really fish in.
Yeah, we'd probably
But out at up in the point, there's great fishing for those things, and I'm sure there's hogs up there. There's got to be. You know what I mean, if there's small ones, there's hogs, right?
We also have a question about like. Is our 10-pound calicos something that has been caught around there, like that we could look forward to maybe? Yeah,
there's several guys that get into those big fish. We have not been blessed with a 10 yet. We've hit 9s.
Wow,
for
that's
sure.
so amazing.
I caught a really big one. We had a couple fish on the boat last year that were really big, but not weighed, so they don't count. You know what I mean? But like they were big calicos, man. Like. There's definitely good fishing up there. If you bring down like some weedless swim baits, you know, MC makes my favorite. That's my favorite style. But everyone has their favorites. You bring down what you're most confident with, because that's fishing, man. If you're gonna fish, like fish what you're confident with. Don't throw what you want to throw though. Throw what the fish are gonna eat. Like that's get that mentality. That's the freshwater bass mentality. Throw what they're gonna eat, but throw it with confidence. That's how you get your bites.
Perfect. No, that makes sense. Very cool. Let's see. I'm gonna go to some of these questions. I'm looking through the page still. I'm trying to find the picture of that Broomtail grouper. I saw it earlier. I think
might be on the front page, or I haven't. I haven't seen where we moved the pictures around.
I use it as part of my thumbnail. Let's see. Yeah, I use it as part of my thumbnail, Zach. You'll see it in there. Also, I guess on the main page. Let me go check.
We could post it again too on Instagram, just so everyone can see it after this too. Katie will probably get it up as we're talking.
Cool. Very cool. All right, awesome.
Yeah,
wow, it sounds super. It just sounds great. I mean,
there's so much, like whatever you want to experience. Like, here's this crazy guy named Kevin Nakata. He comes down there with a box of shrimp, right? And I'm like, dude, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Next thing you know, I'm having the time of my life catching giant sheephead, And those things, you want to talk about Poland, holy shit. It's like, there's every experience that you want to do, like it's down there waiting for you. You know what I mean? Like it is such a fun island, and doing new, different things, moving all around, like being a hunter, you know what I mean? And trying different experiences. Like it's amazing. Like you'll be fishing the kelp, it'll be wide open calicos, and all of a sudden you'll just see the big white sea bass swim through, you know what I mean? And we're getting those things on swim bait, so you don't need to make mackerel and do all. They love the swim bait. Like I just got a huge one on the hookup bait. You know what I mean? Like they eat all kinds of things. They eat the flat fall. They eat everything. You know what I mean? Like it's such a great fishery. So fun. It's fun to experiment a little bit too. You know, try something different. You know, after bring down the stuff we suggest, but always bring down like that favorite lure that I tell everyone, like bring your favorite lure, because after you're whacking them on our stuff, then go ahead and tie it on. Maybe it's going to work. You might show me something, and then next thing you know, I'm going on eBay
or buying them out.
I love pets too. Like that's why I'm down there.
That's so good. That's good. Yeah. You're still a student. You're still a student of the sport. That's
always,
perfect.
Man. Like,
always.
Never stop learning. You know what I mean? You got to pay attention to everything and everyone that comes down. Like you learn something from every bite that someone gets. That's why I tell everyone, we pay attention. Like that's why I put the radios on the boat, so we can all communicate, tell each other what we're doing. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You can always communicate to the ponga if you need something, more water or whatever. You know what I mean? Like whatever you need. You know what I mean? So like it's important to listen to the group, and because everyone's fishing different. Like, okay, how'd you do it? Like, what were you doing? What was the speed of your retreat?
Yeah.
All that's important. You know
and this group in particular is pretty familiar with that style of like knowledge share. So that's going to be, I think, key. Also, I guess I had another random question. Do we need to bring PFDs or like our
No, none of that stuff. We have every single thing. Don't bring radios. We provide everything. That kayak is fully outfitted with so we'll give you your PFD. There's a gaff on board. Cool. You'll have a radio so you can talk to everybody. You have a bait tank if you want a bait tank in the back, or you could have a crate, whatever you prefer. Right. They have a color fish finder on them with GPS. So like, we're always in the same area, and the pongas are always right there, but everything is like, you have every single thing that you would need other than your fishing gear is on there. Perfect. So
perfect. Yeah. And the range of depths that we'd be fishing, Kevin said about 6 to 150.
Yeah, man. We're fishing like I call it zero, because there's so many times I throw my right up on the shore. 0 to no more than 200. Like we're never more than like a quarter mile off the island ever. There's just no need. Like so much stuff happens in like 0 to like 40 feet. Like that's is amazing. Unbelievable. That place.
Amazing.
Yeah, dude, it's unbelievable. It really is such a, you could, bounce swim baits off the bottom, do so much different stuff, and you just never know what you have a chance of hooking. Yeah. That's the beauty of it. Like early season, you guys are coming down in June. I would expect like very, very good bass fishing at that time of year. You know what I mean? Like all the kelp is super alive. There's good current, and which good current equals good bass fishing. So if we end up, with light winds and stuff like that, we can get up there to the North Point or far around to the south, like San Augustine or Pierre the Colorado area, where there's good kelp zones and rocks and stuff like that. Nice. Like the bass fishing should be, super, super fun. If we have really good weather, we'll sneak across the Chesters, because early season Chesters, like, get them on the pre-spawn. I mean, it's ridiculous fishing over there. It's really good on like the weedless or, you could pothole fish, I call it, or pocket fishing, like down in between the stringers. Like it's always very good over there with the warbait lead head, use like a 1 or 2 ounce. So, I always tell everyone, you use that when you're pothole fishing like that, you use a heavier lead head, because it makes your bait swim as it's going down, and you get more strikes. You know what I mean? Like that's a good technique if you're using that kind of style.
That makes
stuff.
sense. But it pulls the bait down, makes more action in the tail. That makes sense.
Yeah. Yellow's that time of year too in June. Like there's a lot of really good yellowtail fishing. All the things we've been talking about, if there's good live bait and someone needs to make live bait, like I said, we put bait tanks on the kayaks too. You could fish live bait all you want.
Very cool. Very cool. I saw Todd from TB Metal Art. You know Todd, right? He said he did the jaw for your world record. He said that thing has so many teeth. He was impressed. He said, "Why is Cedros such a fishy place?"
I think overall the currents down there, like they come down our coast, there's a lot of bait and stuff around that island, and just really good current flow, which just, good current flow pushes a lot of fish through that area. It doesn't get fished super, 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 super hard. Like sure, all of us and the other tours, of course, we're taking fish, but they're constantly replenishing. It seems like, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And we do, especially at our place, like we do a lot of management and conservation. Like we're not afraid to catch and release anything, even big yellows, as long as there's not like a seal or something like that that's going to eat the fish right away. And so, but like I think that's a main reason. There's just a lot of good forage for the fish and good currents. And that just always equals, good predators too.
Perfect. That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Very cool. All right, so let me know if you guys are excited about this trip. Let me know what you think. Any last minute questions before we let Jeff go? And we've taken a lot of his time. We're right at 8 o'clock. We're 8:05, 8:06. So
I could talk about Cedros for hours.
It's so fun. So
wait till you see. Like it's unbelievable.
I'm super looking forward to it. That's very cool. So we have a good idea, a good feel for what the experience is gonna be like. You can bring fish back, guys. Oh yeah, would we bring a cooler? And what are the size limitations on that?
Yeah, leave it in your truck at Fastlane.
Very nice.
That way, we'll bring it back in my soft cooler bags. We use like the Yeti soft cooler bags or reliable bags. Put those up because they're easier to stow on the plane.
Yep.
And then when we get back to your cars, Katie opens those bags and you just get your cooler out of your car and then just take your fish and then go right there to Dana Landing and buy ice and you're set.
That's very cool. That makes sense. I mean, obviously you've thought things through and you have enough experience to make this as smooth as possible. That sounds like it's dialed in. It's dialed in.
It's so easy now. Yeah. Like it gets no easier than this. Like you park your car and like a lot of people say, man, I couldn't even get to the Coronado Islands this fast. Like, and like it's true, man. You're parking at like, we're picking you up at like 6 over there. And so by 10, 4 hours later, you're fishing on Cedros. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's pretty dialed. You know what I mean? And then the accommodations, like everything's so comfortable because you get your own room. Yeah. You know what I mean? My staff is like, those guys I'm definitely working with all of the best people on the island. Like, I mean, and they all like, we're like a big family, you know what I mean? It's important that I say that and let everyone know that, like, because these guys, they work hard. They take care of our place. They make sure the boats are running good. Everything like Christian, my guy Christian there is a super good manager. Takes great care of everything. And Lulu in the kitchen makes sure we're fed. Her meals are for, just fantastic. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. I mean, everything taken care of. Anna Karen in the rooms, like everything, man. It's just Mr. McQueen who cleans all our fish and just,
so good.
Just laughing the whole time. Like you put him and Kevin together, man. Like it's gonna get wild. You know what I mean? Like those two guys, they're not. It just makes the whole trip fun. Like you're coming on a vacation with us, and that we take that real serious. You know what I mean? And we're just trying to just show you a good time and have fun at Cedros, man. We get to do whatever we want. You know what
Perfect.
I mean? Like I own everything. Everything's ours. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we say where we go every day. There's no Pongero saying, "Hey, we're going here, we're going there." We go where we want to go, where we want to have a new adventure. Like that's what it's all about. So, for sure.
Perfect. Well, so let's see. Last couple questions. Well, just one question, I guess. Are there vaccination requirements?
So there's no vaccination requirements, but what we've been doing just so that the people of the island feel safe is obviously we want to have you, if you have your vaccination card, we, love to have a copy of that so that we could show the doctors on the island, like who is. If you're not, at this time, like I would say it's the same. We're going to have the same procedure we had last year. We're going to ask you to get a test a few days before or whatever the regulations are that the CDC and everyone requires.
Good.
And just so we're all safe. It's for all of our safeties. It's for the people, all of my crew that's working there, the people of the island, ourselves, the guests that were there, that you're going to see before you go, that are on the plane after you, get off the plane. There's going to be people on that plane, like for all of that. It's just for all of us, man. That's what we're trying to do the right thing.
Right. It makes sense.
So we can fish.
Yeah, exactly. It makes sense. Perfect. And on that note, I was going to ask, oh man, I lost my train of thought there for a second.
See this virus, man. It's got everyone.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Yeah. So no, I haven't caught it yet, but hey, eventually it's gonna happen, I guess, right? But okay, so as long as you have your vaccination card, if not, you can just take a test before that, and we'll be good to go. Okay, good. There was a question about what Kevin's over here talking smack says. Oh yeah, you guys take care of all the fishing licenses, all that stuff. That's all that stuff Katie takes care of. We're good, man. It's set up. So
Super setup.
yeah.
Setup.
So
Sign
Jeff,
up. Get on the
I
plane.
know,
Like I told you, let's get on the plane, man.
right? Yeah, just get on the plane. Just make the plane.
We'll
Not
take
even
care.
get the plane. Just get to fast
Don't
lane.
worry about a thing. Don't worry about a thing. We'll take care of everything.
That's so
You know?
fun. Perfect. So before we let you go, first of all, thank you so much for taking the time to do this. I know you enjoy it, but we really needed to have this conversation, and I wanted to let the guys have a feel, get to know you. And it sounds like a fantastic trip. I mean, everything is taken care of. Even from my point of view, like Katie's gonna be doing me a huge favor by just helping me get the trips organized. I'm gonna come up with a list of guys that want to go, and again, we'll be discussing that after the show in Discord. I'll let you guys know what spots are available, what dates, and then the pricing. And then at that point, I'm gonna take your phone number, your name, your email address. I'm gonna get it to Katie, and she's gonna take care of the rest from there, and we'll be in touch and figure everything out. Before I let you go, Jeff, thank you so much for helping us understand the way you run the operation. And do you have anything else you want to say before?
I would just want to thank you for having me. This was it was an honor. Yes, I love talking Cedros, and I'm super stoked that you guys are coming down. And I know you have a great following, and you know, we run a class act down there, and you guys are going to have a really, really good time. And I expect to see you on multiple trips in the future.
So stoked. I already got the okay from the boss.
Hook you. I'm going to hook you. I'm telling you. You better look out.
What's your favorite type of catch? Humans. Nice.
Man, too funny. Thanks, man.
Jeff.
Super fun. Hope to do it again real soon.
Sounds good. I'm going to talk to these guys for a second. Thank you so much. Again, we'll see you soon.
All right.
Thanks, Jeff. Soon. We'll take you out with a round of applause from a live studio audience. Let's go. Thanks, Jeff. That was awesome, guys. Again, I'm like, I was already super stoked, and now I'm like even more stoked. All right, so we have dates. I'm gonna tell you, we have two sets, like I said, two sets of dates back to back. So we have some back to back options in what's it in? Hold on, let me look at my notes. I don't want to say the wrong thing here. Let's see. Here we go. June. In June we have a 5-day followed immediately by a 4-day. That 5-day goes from June 13th through June 17th, and then we have a 4-day that goes from June 17th to June 20th. Okay, so as you can see at the end of the 5-day, when you're getting ready to take off from Cedros, come back home, the airplane that drops off the team that's gonna stay for the 4-day, we'll get to see them in transition and say hello and just share some of that stoke on the way back. And then we'll take that plane back, and then that team stays there for 4 days. They're gonna do the same thing. They're gonna show up the first day. They're gonna fish immediately that first day when they get off the plane, and they're gonna fish for another 2 days, and then the 4th day is a travel day to come back. So those are the first 2 dates that are back to back. Again, a 5-day and a 4-day. And then in September, we have another back-to-back session, a 5-day followed immediately by a 4-day. So the 5-day starts on Monday, September 19th to Friday, September 23rd. And then the next session immediately after that is a 4-day session that goes from September 23rd to September 26th. Okay. If those dates sound like something that works for you, we have spots in a lot of these dates. The first date, we have a couple of spots left, maybe like one spot left. On the first trip, on the June 13th trip, I'm going to be on it. Brian's going to be on it. And we have a couple of spots open. I'll just tell you guys that I'll just tell you who's confirmed so far. Cal is going to be on that trip. Salty Dangler is going to be on that trip. It's going to be a blast. We have 2 more slots open on that trip. So that's going to be for the June 13th 5-day trip. Anyway, so if you want to hear all the rest of the spots that are open and you're interested in going on this trip, by the way, I'll be on all these trips. Okay. I'll be going a lot to Cedros. I'll become a Cedros fishing expert by the end of the year. So I'll be there for all the trips. And the best part You know, as if the best part I think is that Kevin, Mr. Sea Samurai himself, is going to be on deck to guide us, guys. He's going to be the guide for all of the MMFC trips. It's going to be a blast. As you can see, like it's an amazing experience, fully taken care of, and it's going to be the easiest thing to just show up, get taken care of, go fish, and just have a blast. Okay, Oscar, if you can't make this trip, we're going to come up with other options that are maybe not necessarily out of the country. Maybe we could do like a charter trip for us here locally, for like we could take like 20, 30 guys if we can get the numbers up. Okay, so don't worry, dude. We'll take care of you. We'll take care of. There's always stuff for us to do, and we also have our local free events that we do. Like we're gonna have on the 22nd. The 22nd. Yeah, check Discord for that. All right. So for now, once again, guys, let's crank up the music. Start to wrap up the show. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Fishy Hour. Again, what a cool guest to have on, and what a amazing experience that we're gonna get to go on. Okay, so it's gonna be a blast. Brian, let's go find those tag spotties. Nice. I'll be roping in the yellowtail and the grouper, and Salty and Brian are gonna be over there in the docks trying to look for spotties. Oh, Salty, we're gonna slay. Letter says, thanks, Roman. Let's go. Local charters work too. There you go, Marvin. Yeah, we'll do local charters too. That'd be fun. Yes, we will coach. Yes, we will coach. Says Samurai. Very cool. Excellent info as always. Thank you, Roman. Thank you, Zach. Thank you for showing up today. Roy, before you go listen to the replay, jump into Discord, because I'm gonna jump in there in a second. We're gonna talk about open spots. Okay. Once we have the initial, I guess the initial MMFC call to see who wants to jump in immediately, then we'll just post it in general and see if there's any spots left. Anybody wants to join in, or if anybody wants to get on a list in case somebody can't make it after all, just so we have like the names and stuff. Okay. So very cool. Very excited, guys. Again, !point Discord if you want to jump into Discord. A lot of you guys already know where Discord is. I'll be in there. I'll be in the I think the general comms call. Go in there. Let's hang out. We haven't done that in a long time. If you have any questions about anything else, it doesn't necessarily have to be about this trip. Go in there, hang out with us, say what's up. It's been a while since I jumped into the Discord chat, so it'll be a good time. All right, so like I said, once again, guys, have a great night, and I'll see you in Discord in about 5 minutes, okay? I'll see you in there. Peace, let's go! Woo! Cedros, baby, yeah!